Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
And I'm Chris.
Today we'll be talking about Married at First Sight, Season 20, Episode 15.
I need y'all to subscribe, like, share, comment, and hype the video. We have a goal to get to 15,000 subscribers, and we are literally knocking on the door.
Thank you.
Thank you to everyone who has subscribed. Thank you to the ones who are watching and who is not subscribed. This is your opportunity right now to subscribe and press that button because this is going to be a good episode. Blair, I wanted to take some days off from recording this episode because I didn't want to yell in your ear for an hour.
Oh, okay, I appreciate it.
So I as an adult, I took my thoughts and I wrote them down. Right. Now y'all know when I take notes, we go get into some stuff because I freestyle every episode.
You do.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Please.
We start with Michelle and Cameron.
Yes.
They have dinner with her aunt and uncle, and her aunt and uncle were high school sweethearts. Mm-hmm. Apparently, her parents wanted her to be with a Vietnamese guy. She left home at 18 and didn't speak to her parents for 6 months. The uncle asks, what is Michelle's superpower? And Cameron says her optimism. Yeah. They keep things fun by chasing, he chases her around. And he also says that they have to recognize that a relationship is work and they have to commit themselves to each other. Cameron does have that fear of commitment, but he wants what her aunt and uncle have.
What are your thoughts about this whole meeting right here?
I thought it was a good meeting. I feel like I don't remember Cameron's history when it comes to his parents of whether they're together or not. Yeah. So I'm wondering if maybe this is like one positive relationship that he can kind of like go off on to see how you can keep things alive and have a strong relationship. So I'm hoping this encourages him. So that way he feels a little bit more confident in the longevity of the relationship. Yeah,
something happened after the scene to where, because you got like a little bit of like flash scenes. Like you got a flash scene of Sean and Nikki dancing, and then you got a flash scene of Mecca and Belle look like they at a bar or somewhere. They at a restaurant, right?
Yeah.
And in this scene, they said that they made a decision to say yes on decision day. Do you like that?
No, even if people do make that decision, which I feel like they probably do discuss beforehand. Yeah, I prefer it to be a surprise to everybody involved. Actually.
Same. I feel like there's 2 weeks left, a little over a week. It's a lot can still happen, right? Yes. And to me, it just giving off performative to me, and I'm gonna go back to this scene right here when we get to the group dinner. Let's keep going.
Any thoughts about Cameron and Michelle?
No. Heck no.
All right. Okay. Well, Felipe and Tori meet with Paul. Tori brought up emotional manipulation because he brings up single life, but then he says he really likes her, and she's wondering if he is doing that just to have her hang on for longer. Paul asks if she thinks he's saying that with the intent to control her emotion, which is what emotional manipulation is, and she does not think he's intending to. And Felipe says he is not intending to control her emotion. So Paul wanted to get that out the way because he would have had to kick them off the show if that was the situation. Okay. But he feels like, he's speaking his truth and it is affecting her emotionally. So Paul thinks that Felipe is definitely trying, but he's not definitely in. He encourages Felipe to focus on what he knows in this moment, and Felipe knows in this moment he wants to be with Tori.
What are your thoughts on this session right here, their first session?
I feel like we didn't solve anything.
Facts.
I get that maybe these sessions have to be short and to the point. I would have liked to, I appreciate Paul, but I would have liked to have seen them with Dr. Lisa Paz to see if maybe with some of her counseling skills, she can help Felipe figure out where that's coming from and actually kind of address the root of it. Yeah. Instead of trying to get Felipe to hurry up and make a decision, which is what I felt the conversation felt more like.
Yeah. This scene have so much meat on the bone, and I just want to be able to get all of it, right?
Let's hear.
So Tori, I want to go with exact quotes. Tori feels like Felipe is being emotionally manipulative. Paul said, if we had discerned that it was true emotional manipulation, you would have been excused from the project. That's how serious emotional manipulation is. So my question to you, Paul, so when do we excuse you from the project or from the process? Because when you was matching Nikki and Sean together, and you and Dr. Lisa was sitting right there, and you said, hey, I know Sean would like Nikki, but I don't know if Nikki would like Sean. And then Dr. Lisa was literally over there saying, well, we got to see if she got to override it. That's a quote. You get what I'm saying? Okay. When it comes down to emotional manipulation, having two people and matching two people together that you already feel in the beginning will not be a good match is manipulation. So that's why I'm calling bullish on that, because the whole point of the experts, at least based on what we've seen on Married at First Sight, is that y'all want to have a good ratio of people that get married at the end of the process. I personally do not feel like Felipe is manipulating Tori. I feel like Felipe is being honest. I also feel like Felipe is immature. But at the end of the day, do not try to make it seem like, oh no, emotional manipulation. If any of that is going on, we would have to throw you away or basically cancel the process for you. When I'm like, hold on, y'all are manipulating everything. Every counseling session that I've seen, I'm seeing Paul tell Belle how much she loves Mecca. I don't see Belle coming out saying outright that she's like her feelings for Mecca and things like that. I see Paul putting words in her mouth saying, you love him, don't you? What is that? To me, that's emotional manipulation, because she's not saying that forthright. So to me, I call bullish on that. The question I want to ask the ladies in the chat, and I have to ask you because you are the only woman here, right?
Thank you.
Do you really want to know what your man is thinking?
Yes.
Everything, or just the good things?
Everything. Because I want to know what is real and what is true and what is honest, so we can actually talk about and work through things to have an honest relationship. I don't want to have a go along to get along type situation. I think we said in one of our other videos when we first started dating, I was like, I need you to be straight up with me. Yeah. Like always. Yeah. Because number one, I'm not too good at reading between the lines and trying to figure out what people are trying to say. And also I need us to be able to communicate honestly. Yeah. Because I don't want no fake ish. So that's why, yes, I need to know the truth. Do I need you to be considerate? Yes. Do I need you to be thoughtful in the way that you express yourself and not to be an a-hole? Yes. You're
asking for a lot because all of that is subjective. Like being considerate and being nice and things like that, all of that's subjective. But if it goes back to me telling you what's on my mind, do you truly want that
let me answer that
from your spouse?
My answer was yes to that. The reason I'm adding the extra because I feel like when I'm talking, I know we're talking about Tori and Felipe, but I want to do a little foreshadowing with Mecca. If you're going to say something just to be cruel because it's true, you don't need to say it.
Facts.
So that's why I'm saying, yes, be honest, but also let it be necessary.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
I want to ask y'all that question as well. Do y'all want to know what your spouse is thinking, especially if your spouse or your partner is a male, right? There have been jokes for centuries about men not telling women exactly what's on their mind, right? A regular joke. Hey, baby, do I look fat in this dress? We have been taught as men to never say you look fat in that dress. But is that the truth? It can be, right? Is it considerate to let her know that she looked fat in that dress and she should put something else on? I would say so, right? But some people can't take that.
And I think there's a way to do it.
Which leads me to your board question on episode 13. Okay. Right? You said something across the lines on your board question of like, what do you take to your therapist compared to what do you take to your spouse? Right? And I'm looking at Tori here. Felipe have not cheated on you. Tori is completely dejected from this process. She is done, right? And it made me look at Tori in a way, and I'm only going to use Felipe as a muse, right? If you're married to me, which you are, right? This has been a faithful marriage, and you want to know everything that's on my mind, right? What if one day I come to you, right, and I say, you know what, Blair? I was browsing on Instagram, looking at my funny videos and things like that. A girl came across my page and things like that. I really wanted to DM her, but I didn't. But I just felt like I wanted to talk to her. Would you want to know that?
No, that's unnecessary to me.
It's unnecessary, right? And I'm only using that as an example because Felipe is someone who he have told us that he cheated on his last relationship. Now, him saying that he forgot, I don't know. Okay. Unless you've been cheating so much that you just forgot which ones you cheated on, right? If Felipe is making the actual effort to not be a cheater again, and him being transparent and saying, hey, I want to be married today. I'm saying yes today. I don't know how I'm going to feel. As a spouse, do you want to be able, can you take that? I'm not saying Tori have to take that, But I'm saying, can you take that level of transparency from someone as Felipe, just using him as a muse, of saying, hey, this is what I feel. I feel like I miss sleeping with women when I was single. Hey, I don't know how I'm going to make it 10 years from now, but I'm going to try it, and I'm saying yes today. What is your thoughts on what I just said?
Yeah, absolutely. I would need to know that information. Give me all the tools necessary for me to decide if I want to stay or leave.
Yeah.
Don't have me in a situation to where I think that this is a situation going one way, but every single day you're fighting your urges to sleep with other people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, please let me know. And if I was in Tori's situation, I feel like Tori's doing a good job of giving him another week to see, what actually he can figure out in his head.
Mm-hmm.
But I agree with her. I feel like if you don't know if you want to be married, then we don't want the same things and we shouldn't be together.
Yeah.
If you don't know that for sure, if you are unsure and all this type of stuff, then you don't need to be married, because you don't need to bring somebody along into your process of figuring it out.
Yeah.
Figure it out first.
Yeah.
So.
And I'm not saying that, I'm not trying to influence Tori's decision. Her decision is her decision. If she want to take this,
but yes, give her the information to decide. Yes.
But I don't think she's being 100% transparent, and this is what I mean, right? I remember in the earlier episodes, I don't know which episode it was, but I remember she's talking about she was cheated on by the person that she was with, but eventually she developed some relationship with the new girlfriend, and then the boyfriend gave her like a card that she could spend money and do all these things with. And I'm just like, oh, okay. I think it's all starting to make sense to me, right? I think we are looking at this relationship incorrectly. And what I mean by that is, I think if it was worth being with Felipe, Tori will be with Felipe. I don't think the problem, or the only problem rather, that she have with Felipe is that he have problems, or he have doubts about, the marriage life and being monogamous. I don't think that's the only problem or the main problem. I think the main problem that she had with Felipe is, it's not worth it if he cheats on me. He's a boy, basically. His mother takes care of him. His sister basically cleans up his apartment and stuff like that. He don't even own his own restaurant. He works for his parents. And then on top of that, I'm going to get cheated on possibly. Mm-hmm. You got to make it worth it for me to stay around. If he was a man that was about his business, and the only problem that he have is doubts that he may stay faithful 10 years from now, I think Tori may look at this differently. But I think at the point that there's not enough love deposits in the bank for her to take this chance, because it's like, hey, if you had everything else and only thing we have to worry about is just you cheating or you staying faithful, like, I'll take that chance. But you are atheist and you are a little boy, and then on top of that, you go cheat on me. It's too much withdrawals without enough deposits and things like that.
I hear you.
So that's why I feel like the only criticism I want to give to Tori is that in this counseling session with Paul, she looked completely dejected and completely just here so she won't get fined, right? Mm-hmm. And we criticize Adam for that, and I'm criticizing Tori for that. Do not give off the impression that you're really here and you're going to look at Felipe's efforts and things like that, of him saying, I'm saying yesterday, I want to be married to you, I only like you. Tori do not want to be with this man. So I think she need to be transparent with that, the same way as Felipe is being transparent and saying, hey, I sometimes think about my single life compared to my married life. I think, Tori, you need to do better.
So we move on to Adam and Marissa's date. Immediately, they are kissing, making out all over each other. They sit down. He got his feet up on a chair, and she's holding his ankles during this date.
Yeah.
Just that alone just made me feel like this is all very unserious.
Of course.
Well, they talk about when they were in the honeymoon phase, and she feels more resilient after being called out in therapy. Mm-hmm. He is just demolishing this steak, and Marissa clearly looks icked out. He ends up asking her if there's anything that he does that gives her the ick, and she was like, yeah, eating with your hands. What's going on right now is nasty to me. Well, Adam says that he doesn't have any reservations, and maybe there is a slight mismatch when it comes to athletics. Marissa tells him he was hard to play with on a team, and teamwork was lacking. To say yes on decision day, she would need to see how he would be willing to meet in the middle.
What's your thoughts on them?
I don't know why they're still here. Adam,
Facts.
I feel like, has made it clear that he is not interested in meeting in the middle. It's his way or the highway.
Facts.
So I get Marissa is sitting here talking to him, saying that this is what she's going to need. I don't think he cares what you need. So
even though we are all on this earth, we are all living a different experience, right? We have a different path that we all have to walk, our own path. So even though we are all on this show talking about the contestants, talk about Adam, Marissa, and them. Even though they are all on this show, they have different paths that they have to walk. And I feel like Marissa is failing at her path. She told us in that little in the pickleball double date that she usually resort to being a people pleaser. And that's all I'm seeing in Marissa throughout this whole process. Maybe the goal of this process is not for you to marry Adam, but to overcome that people pleaser thing. Because Marissa, you're just being a bot, right? Whole time he's really mocking the experience because number one, Adam does own a pair of pants as like we see. Mm-hmm. Number two, I ain't gonna lie. When it comes to steak, anybody who knows about cooking, the flavor is in the bone. You get what I'm saying? I probably would have been chewing on the bone too. You get what I'm saying? Because,
I'm not gonna lie, I chew on the bone.
You get what I'm saying? I'm gonna chew on the bone.
I do chew on the bone.
But as Blair just stated, Adam has made it very clear that, hey, I'm not meeting in the middle of anything. Mm-hmm. Hell, I even make it very clear to bring up my ex.
Yep.
And this could be the ex that cheated on me. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to bring her up every time in this experience. And are you going to speak up for yourself? Or are you just going to basically have to repeat this process? And when I say process, of being a people pleaser and things like that. Because obviously, she's not going to say yes on decision day. I hope not. And we know he's not because he's mocking the whole experience. Even with him talking about athletics. I'm going to be real with you. I know there may be some people that play it, but like pickleball is not like an athletic, like strenuous sport. Mm-hmm. He's talking about as if he's like doing like Iron Man or something like that.
People of all ages do it because it is easy on the body. But he wants to play like he's actually playing tennis out here. And why don't he just play tennis?
Because he ain't good enough.
Because he ain't good enough.
Because he ain't good enough, right?
He's not athletic enough.
And guess what? I'm not going to disrespect pickleball and say play a real sport. But for the sake of this conversation, pick up a tennis racket.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, hey, you see Adam is mocking this experience. This is probably the first date that y'all had since the honeymoon and things like that because he took you on another date, but guess what? He still had you on a boat. You get what I'm saying? And he made you do push-ups. Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm like, he's mocking it. What are you going to do, Marissa? Are you going to show up as your real self as I saw you with your friends? Or are you going to continue to be a bot? Let's keep going.
Sean and Nikki have a wine and chocolate date. They do this thing where they connect the taste of the wine to something from their life, which I thought was a good idea from Sean for them to try to get to know each other a little bit better. Nikki talks about having peppermint patties as a kid. Sean talks about how he stole candy once as a kid and his mom made him pay for it, give it back, and say you won't do it again. Then they talk about Girl Scout cookies. I love Thin Mints and Do-si Dos. They do a Lady in the Tramp moment with the chocolate at Sean's request. And Nikki does feel like their connection has deepened. I'm like, Nikki, if you say so, because to me, it's all in her body language. When he asked her to do the Lady in the Tramp thing, it looked like she recoiled a little bit. She definitely
did.
So it's just like, I get that, we want to be mindful of people's body language, but if you want to move forward and say that things are progressing and you want to do these things and you're making yourself do these things, like I can't sit up here and say like, oh, get Sean away from Nikki. I'm just going to say you love it there. And leave it at that.
You taking away all of the bail out of jail?
I'm just saying, like you have, if you want something to stop, you have to say it. And Nikki doesn't strike me as a person who won't say if she doesn't want to do something. I feel like she would make that very clear. So I think she's having a great time.
I want you to keep going, Blair.
All right. Well, back at the apartment, they did something sexual. Sean walks back out, robe open, singing. Nikki said that they are sexually compatible, and now it's figuring out if they can grow love a marriage would require.
I want to go exact quotes with that scene right there.
Okay.
Right. The exact quote that Nikki said is, she's not going to go into specifics, but we did take a step to explore more sexual intimacy, not actual sex. But we did have a physical encounter that was more of a sexual flavor. We are sexually compatible. Now it's really about figuring out if we can build the type of emotional connection that can grow into romantic love, that can grow into the love that a marriage would require. What the hell y'all do? You said a whole bunch of nothing here.
Of the sexual flavor. Okay.
That's what she said.
I feel like taste buds was involved.
I hope not. And also, I hope when I do have a sexual encounter with my wife, she wouldn't describe it this way. She said, now it's really about figuring out if we can build the type of emotional connection that can grow into romantic love. That right there already told me, oh, this was for show.
I guess. Yeah.
This was, and I'm going to talk about it once we get to the dinner, but this episode, I want to name it Show and Tell.
Okay.
Right? Because there's so many optics that's playing in every relationship, especially with this season of A Married at First Sight. You have the pressure of your peers because you have the group dinner. You have the pressure of basically Dr. Lisa and Paul. You got that aspect. And also you got the pressure of the public. And all of that can play a factor into what you do on the show. And I think at some point that played a part in Nikki's and Sean's relationship. I'm not saying that, because I want to be very careful with my words when it comes to this subject. I'm not saying that consent wasn't given, right? But I find it very interesting that when it came to courting, when it came to date planning, Nikki did majority of the dating. When it comes to the date planning, this was the only date that Sean planned. Mm-hmm. And you already know what his objective is because he told you before he started courting you. Mm-hmm. So how would you feel if you know, Blair, that I want sex from you or some release from you, mm-hmm. and then I plan a date, right, with the intention, potentially, that to get that objective?
It would feel calculated.
That's what I'm saying.
It wouldn't feel like we're actually trying to grow a stronger connection that will eventually lead to that. It feels like by the end of the night, you're expecting something to crack open.
Exactly.
Either up or down.
Up and down, all around. But again, I want to say, I'm not saying that consent wasn't given, yes. Right? But I'm just saying that a lot of optics can play a part in your consent.
I will say, because there has been like some discourse about Sean coming out with his robe open, and if he was trying to kind of stunt on the fact that he did something with Nikki or whatever the case may be. I mean, I honestly, just to put my opinion on the record, I don't think so.
Maybe.
I think that, I mean, it was up to the show to put that in the episode, mm-hmm. where they didn't have to. It was clearly nighttime. The regular recording cameras weren't around, and they just got done whatever they did, and he came out comfortable, and eventually he did close up his robe while he was in the kitchen. So I just feel like he was in his house comfortable, and it was the show who decided to show that. So I don't put that basically Sean trying to, make it seem like they did something. How would he know that they would use that clip?
Like I said, mm-hmm. I do not put nothing past Sean. Sean knows that there's nanny cameras in the house.
Yeah, that's true.
So like, I'm not putting nothing past anybody of what they decide to do when the production team is there and when the production team is not there. Mm-hmm. They know they are being filmed 100% of the time outside of the bathroom in the bedroom.
Well, he seemed like he didn't know when they actually used a flashback about the wifely duties against him. He thought he was gaslight his way out that situation. Like, they didn't record him.
We'll see.
So, I don't know. But Caitlin and Devin meet up with Caitlin's dad. Mm-hmm. Caitlin says she doesn't need a lot from a partner on a day-to-day, and they're working on communicating, or she's working on communicating with him. Just, good morning. I'm going to go to work.
Yeah.
Have a great day. That type of communication. Dad says she does need to work on that. Devin says he needs to work on not needing her around all the time. And Dad tells him, you guys may do things together that the other person likes because you enjoy seeing the other person get joy out of doing the things that they like. Mm-hmm. She does mention how they went to some type of Taylor Swift something and Devin really enjoyed it. And the dad high-fived him, basically just like, I mean, I guess mm-hmm. like you doing the husband thing. So Dad encourages them to work together, and Caitlin feels good after seeing Devin get along with her dad.
This actually painted another picture for me when it comes to Caitlin and Devin, and it doesn't paint Caitlin in a good light for me.
All
right?
Let's hear your
Caitlin, Caitlin's father, he talked about in the marriage with, his wife, Caitlin's mother, that when they ever go out of town and things like that, they go to these boutiques, they go to these stores and things that he doesn't want to do, but he does it anyway because he loves his partner, right? It's a form of sacrifice, right? And that's what Caitlin wants for her marriage. She wants a man who sacrificed for her without her having to do it in return. And she's going to use her father as a reference point.
Interesting. Mm-hmm.
Right? She's going to say, well, my father would go see Taylor Swift if like my mother was in Taylor Swift. My father does all of this for my mom and things like that. But you got to understand something, Caitlin, that in a relationship, there is something called, love deposits, love withdrawals, a balancing scale, right? I understand when they was in the car a couple episodes ago and Devin was basically listing all the things he done for her. And she was like, hey, look, I did this one thing for you off camera, right? The point of a balancing scale is to balance the weight of two components, right? So if I am doing a Harry Potter night for you, if I'm cooking for you, if I'm doing all these things for you, and you do one thing for me off camera to try to prove or try to point to a reference point of, look, I did this for you, but everything else, you don't say good morning, you don't give me cuddles, we can't even go to bed at the same time, we can't even cuddle on the couch, you said, I like to put my feet on you. Guess what? Even though you have your one component on the scale, the scale is still imbalanced. So you have to do more. You have to show up more. That doesn't mean sex. That doesn't even mean anything physical, right? It just means some type of like, hey, I'm thinking of you. Some type of like intimacy. Intimacy is not always physical. It's thinking of the other person, right? And all this time, especially since the Taylor Swift album came out, he done heard the album. You talked to him about the album. You made him see a movie. Eventually he gonna be wearing a t-shirt, right? All this time, you find any and every reason to be mad at Devin and to give him the cold shoulder. I'm not buying it.
Felipe and Tori have a sauna date. In order to feel safe, Tori needs to hear how Felipe feels. He wasn't trying to overwhelm her with his emotions, so that's why he wasn't really expressing where he was coming from. He talks about how he does have the same spark from the first moment he saw her, and he presents her with a framed wedding photo as well. And I thought it was nice. I thought it was a nice date. I thought it was a nice gesture. And that's the thing that gets me is like, you've already said what you said, and it's hard to kind of take that back and erase what I've heard when it comes to you missing the fact that you like sleeping with a lot of different women. I mean, even though that may be a truth, that is a hard truth, and it's, I think, even harder because we talk about the love deposits and withdrawals, pretty much like putting enough in so that if you do make a withdrawal, you're not in the negatives.
Yeah.
That there's enough for me to look at you and know that I know your character and I know that you mean me well.
100%.
And I feel like for this experiment, you don't know if that other person means you well. So even though I see him doing these nice things, I still feel like Tori doesn't have enough evidence, enough deposits for her to really believe that Felipe means her well and sees a future with her. So
yeah, I think when it comes to Tori, she's seen enough of his life, and she sees how basically the part that she will play in his life. Yeah, and she's like, yeah, I don't want to be your mama, and I don't want to be like your sister. You don't really do nothing for yourself. As much as she's gonna try to make it about being monogamous, it's really about who Felipe is as a man. She can't trust his manhood when it comes to that.
I think that's the thing of, even though he wants to show her within a week that he can be better and do better, it's not about, even though she was appreciative that he was thoughtful, it's not necessarily about being thoughtful. It's about being a equal partner and being solid in your choices. So
yeah, and also when it comes to them two, I think, as I asked y'all the question before of, hey, do you want to know what your man is thinking? I'm gonna talk to the men. Do not tell your woman everything you're thinking. That's what your male friends is for. That's what your therapist is for. That's what your father's for. If you have fathers and uncles and things like that, that's what God is for. Pray about it, right? Because even though I'm telling you, you really don't know the depths of people's thoughts, right? If Blair was to ask me that question, do I want to know everything she's thinking? No, I don't, right? I don't want to know the details in the outs of your thoughts, right? I only want to know the thoughts that are good to me and thoughts that I can work with, right? Even though it can be honest, I don't need to know everything. Take that to a therapist. So that's why I feel like Felipe is, to your point, he don't have enough deposits to be raw. Some people can take that raw honesty of, hey, even though, hey, guess what? I came home today. I did not cheat on you today, but I had thoughts about it. I don't think people can really handle that. And I truly don't think you should put that on people's minds, right? You need to talk to somebody about that. Yeah. And I think
that's more of a you issue than anything the other person can do. You'll just send them down a spiral. That's not helpful or productive.
And the thing about it is, I think because Felipe, and I don't want to insult his manhood, but as Tori said, I'm not here to build a boy. You realize she ain't say build a man, right? I think Felipe have a habit based on the little information that we have. Any problem that he may have, he probably go to his parents and they help him figure it out. Hey, Felipe got his first job from his father. Now he got the restaurant from his parents. And now the parents, now his sister and his mother basically fixed up his apartment and stuff because they are viewed as fixers in his life. So when him being transparent with his wife, she's looking at you like, hold on, you're the man. Like, I'm depending on you to take my dog to the vet. I'm depending on you to fix something and things like that. And I don't want you to use me as a demo to prove your manhood or to grow up to be a man. I want to come here and marry a man, just off of Tori's perspective.
So we move on to the group dinner.
Yeah.
And Marissa talks about how they've had a good week. Adam has been working on being less intense and doing what she likes, like quality time. They would need to work on compromise and meeting in the middle. Marissa says the intensity level is hard on her anxiety and she would like there to be a balance. Nikki asks why do they have to have the same hobbies, and Adam says it's ideal and it's giving basically what he experienced from his ex in the past, and it feels like it's love and, you know, the best type of relationship. And Sean asks if Adam's parents talk like him. And Adam is like, not at all. Sean's response is, seems like you are who you created yourself to be. People who speak like you do so because they don't have the vocabulary or emotional intelligence to verbalize what they're actually feeling. So did you create a character so you don't have to get to the real you? You won't speak like this in 20 years, just so you know. Whew. Adam says that he has a robust vocabulary.
Okay.
Let me pull out one of them words. And uses these words because they describe what he feels optimally. He doesn't see how Sean could come at him when Sean is dealing with childish issues in his own relationship. Well, Marissa is learning what Adam says, and she says, basically backing him up, that he can articulate himself well. And Paul says that Sean meant well, but he shamed Adam in the process.
Oh, Sean came off the top rope with an elbow drop.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on this scene right here?
No, I enjoyed it. I liked it because we are getting a very one-dimensional Adam.
Yeah.
And I think that's intentional.
Very.
And I think that with Adam, I think he's pretty much just riding out the rest of this process. And even if he does say yes on decision day, Marissa's not going to get anything she wants. And Adam is going to continue doing what he wants, I feel like, until she decides to break up. Because Adam strikes me, I don't know him, just the character he seems to be on the show, is that he, you know, can kind of vibe out in a situation until, you know, the other person just doesn't seem it worthy anymore. So I think that for Sean, calling him out on his limited vocabulary and the character that he created himself to be is spot on.
100%.
And even when Adam tried to retort, he didn't do it well. I felt like with Adam, like, I just don't think that he cares. I just don't think he cares. I think that he cares more about his comfort and his lifestyle and having a good time than actually working to create something long lasting and real. And if it is going to be long lasting and real, it's because the woman is choosing to stick around and do everything he wants. So, you know, I appreciate Adam getting called out. I feel like, you know, he's been getting called out in the sessions as well. You would think that would shock somebody into actually, stepping up to the plate and showing a different, improved version of themselves to be able to meet the need of their partner. But what happens when you don't care about your partner's needs? You do what Adam's doing. So.
To your point, Blair, because we go dig deeper, right? To your point, Marissa is sitting there basically talking about, you know, his intensity gives me anxiety and stuff like that. They basically asking about to go around the room. Cameron already said at the house with Michelle that basically if everybody's not going to be honest today, then you know what? We might as well just move them along. And I'm just like, Cameron, who made you the leader of the group? But we go get to you, Cameron, right? So now, to your point, Blair, you said that basically Adam knows that, hey, I'm not going to meet in the middle. I'm one-dimensional. We go do whatever I want to do. And if we don't do whatever I want to do, hobbies included, I'm going to mention my ex every time, right? Yeah. And Marissa knows this.
Yes.
So, Marissa, why are you sitting there taking this? You're being a bot, right? You're being an NPC. You're not being real either. You're being performative. And this is what these group settings produces. It produces show and tell.
Everybody wants to present a glossy, put together version of their relationship.
100%.
When a lot of folks been going through hell, or they've been ignoring the hell that is in front of them.
100%. Right? So now he's over here basically when Nikki asked the question about, hey, do your partner really got to have the same hobbies as you? And Caitlyn basically agrees like, hey, you don't have to have the same hobbies as the person that you are with. And then he's like, well, you should have met my ex-girlfriend. Then he go bringing up that ex again.
Yeah.
Right? And again, as Dr. Lisa said, they are an ex for a reason. Hopefully this ain't the ex that cheated on you, Adam. If someone cheated on you, right? And then Sean comes in, because here's the thing about couples, right? I truly believe Nikki and Sean don't like Adam.
Yeah.
Like I remember when Adam came into that first group therapy with his shirt all open and Paul jumped on him. And that's when Paul was like, we're going to be serious here. We're not going to be basically no clowns over here. And Nikki was basically clapping her fingers.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people don't like Adam. Right? So Sean comes in as a tag team member and says, hey, do your parents talk like you do? And then Sean is trying to be passive aggressive with Adam, which I have no problem with in this circumstance.
Yeah.
Well, basically say, I'm sure you are intelligent. You get what I'm saying? And things like that. And then, Adam over here is saying that he would love to take a test to basically,
IQ test.
IQ test. You're like, well, I'm not talking about IQ, I'm talking about EQ. Yeah. Right? And then that's when Sean asks, did you create a character around something that you are protecting yourself from, that keeps you from being able to articulate your emotions accurately and to really go into being a real person? Right? Now, in the confessional, Adam turns into a complete Karen. Right? Now he's in the confessional talking about what Sean did was extremely rude, and he's been incredibly nice to him throughout this whole process. Let's go back to the first group dinner. Remember when Sean and Nikki was sharing their problems, and you turned to them and said, well, should y'all call it?
Right.
That wasn't nice to me, in my opinion.
Yeah, that was a little bit harsh and disrespectful.
Exactly, especially at the first group dinner, and all this time.
And you say that to them, but you won't say that to Devin and Caitlin. That's why I'm saying something is afoot.
Oh no! It's not a foot. It's the whole body.
Yeah.
Right. And now he's over here talking about he's been incredibly nice to Sean, and it's embarrassing to be acquainted with them because they are arguing over basic stuff at their age. Adam, you haven't shown any type of basic consideration for the spouse you have
at all.
So it's excusable for you because you're not the same age as Nikki and Sean. So you're over here talking about an ex-girlfriend. You're over here talking about hobbies. You're over here talking about being an athlete playing pickleball, right? But yet
that's the most athlete sport I've ever seen.
And whole time
pickleball, okay.
And whole time you over here talking about it's embarrassing to be acquainted with them. All of y'all are on Married at First Sight. Who is the them? Specify to them, right? Because at the end of the day, both of y'all don't have a successful marriage in my eyes, right? The Marissa said, Adam can articulate himself very well. I don't think that even needs to be said. No, it does need to be said. And maybe you need to articulate yourself, Marissa, because you're not happy and you're not being fed in the marriage. But at the end of the day, Adam gets what he wants. And Adam gets to question whatever he wants and things like that. He gets to show up to all these meetings. Marissa can put on a nice dress for the group therapy session. And he get to come in sneakers, shorts, and a t-shirt, even though he own pants. He could come in with a shirt already buttoned, but when he walks in, he unbuttons it and then tell Paul, I was outside climbing the wall and things like that. Adam thinks people like him. But at the end of the day, no one likes him. Now we're to the point to where Marissa didn't even know that, hey, we supposed to meet your sister this week. Your parents still not back from this cruise. You get what I'm saying?
The world's longest cruise.
It's very interesting that Adam, and granted, Adam and Sean is having a sissy off, right? They are both being sassy towards each other. But I 100% agree with Sean here when it comes to hey, I'm tired of the way you talk. Do your parents talk like this?
Right.
Because
how do you hold down a job and speak like this? This isn't real. This isn't real life.
And truth be told, I think in this moment, and this is the only moment, because the other moment Sean tried to tell us that he was a doctor at the altar. This was the moment when Adam was talking about he want to have an IQ test against Sean to bring up the fact that your name is Dr. Bess. You get what I'm saying? I know you may be smart, but I actually went to school for this. This is the time to point out Dr. Sean, but let's keep going.
So Cameron had a bad day. Michelle didn't judge him. They are good.
I'm going to come back to Cameron.
Mecca says that their connection is getting deeper and stronger. They have love for each other, but they're not in love yet. And Belle feels like there's a lot of pressure around saying it, but she feels like your actions are what say it. And that's enough. Mecca shares they made a decision to say yes on decision day. I do want to say this.
Help me.
Before we move on, is Mecca's actions don't show that there is love.
100%.
Based off what he said, between liking somebody, being in love, having strong feelings, he can do the exact same things and it won't mean one or the other. So it may mean that way for you, Belle, and for people who are, genuine and honest and want to actually like convey their emotion in their actions. But Mecca isn't trying to convey his emotions in his actions. He is doing things for what purpose? To me, to manipulate.
100%. When they got to
and to be specific, to become the one with the most power in the relationship, so that way he feels less vulnerable.
Yeah.
So I can put a name to it.
Yeah. Thank you. To be specific, when they got to Mecca and Belle, you realize that when you are with each other and to find some type of comfort, you will mirror the person that you're with.
Yeah.
So they both was like, oh, I hate her. And, she was like, I'm tired of him and things like that. And then when it was time for Mecca to talk, he said, she's not tired of me. She can't get enough of me, is what it is. Mecca makes it very clear that they are not in love because Sean said, hey, have y'all said the L word? And he was like, we have not said. And he makes it very clear that they are not in love. That is what he said.
Yes.
Now, go back to that bar date in the beginning of the episode. How can y'all not be in love, but at the same time make a decision about decision day that y'all gonna say yes?
I don't know. I guess just doing stuff to be doing stuff.
I'm going to tell you why. This is show and tell. This is the peer pressure aspect of the show. No one wants to come to the dinner and get whacked. So there's space between the dinners. There's space between the counseling sessions for you to show and tell that y'all are in a better position from the last counseling session that y'all had, from the last dinner that you had.
And nobody wants to be in a hot seat of their relationship being scrutinized. So let's make it look pretty.
So when I hear them basically saying that, hey, we made a decision to say yes, that is them basically saying, hey, we are in a better position than we were from the last dinner. That doesn't mean that they was in a bad position, but they are just trying to show and tell. The same way as we go get to Nikki and Sean next, right? It's all about, hey, we're just trying to show y'all that, hey, when we had that argument at the first dinner, we came into the counseling session and we a 10. And now we coming into this counseling session or to this dinner basically saying, hey, we did something, y'all, because no one wants the spotlight on them and they don't want to be peer pressure into really showing their real relationship. Let's keep going.
Sean shares he is closer to a possible yes. They have a great time together. He does say that, they have been vibing to music, and Adam tells him you can't use that word. All right. Well, Adam says, look, y'all were struggling overnight. Then you came up with some strategies and you're steadily doing well, but I don't buy it. You're not sitting close to each other either. And Sean points out that there is a partition between them.
It was.
Michelle doesn't get romantic vibes between them either, and she's not seeing that Sean is Nikki's person. And Nikki tells them the exercises are helping them get closer and the sparks are flying. So I'm just going to believe what Nikki says. I'm just going to ignore everything else. Mecca said he doesn't see her physical attraction to Sean, and Nikki tells them it's growing. Mecca says, I understand, though. I wasn't physically attracted to Belle when I first saw her.
Told y'all.
In their sidebar, while they're whispering and Sean and Nikki are trying to convince everybody that they are in a strong relationship, he says that he thought she was pretty, but wasn't sure if she was pretty enough for him. And Belle felt like it was a slap in the face, and he, just doesn't know how to say things. And then that's what's going to trip up Belle every time. If you think that people don't know what they're doing, and I feel like I learned this from you.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was someone who used to rationalize and try to understand why people do the things that they do. At the end of the day, your words and your actions are that. So whatever the reason, I can't be bothered to figure it out because I'm not going to be at the brunt of whatever the hell it is that you like to spew out your mouth.
Talk to me.
So I feel like for Belle, listen to what he's saying and move accordingly. And Mecca, Belle is a beautiful girl.
She is.
Belle is a very beautiful girl.
She is. The
only way that I could think that you might think she's not pretty enough for you is if you're not into beautiful girls. And that's all I can really say about that.
Take me back to the top.
All right.
Take me back to the top because I got to talk to Adam, right? It has been agreed by the group based on everyone's action, especially from the first dinner. If you can watch this episode, no one believes in Nikki and Sean's connection, which makes me think that, oh, Sean and Nikki may have in their mind, we have to prove our connection, which is why Nikki told them that, hey, we made a step towards our intimacy, towards our physical connection, not sex. A lot of word salad for someone that you're supposed to be growing romance with, which led Mecca to say, I don't believe that you really find Sean attractive. Now let's stop right here, right? I want to give them bail out of jail, talk about Sean and Nikki. When the group already feels like we are going to nitpick your relationship, even though we all are all here on Married at First Sight, you can't feel a little peer pressure to perform, right? Adam's over here talking about you were struggling, and overnight you came up with strategies with one therapy session, right? And now all of a sudden y'all perfect. And Sean said, we're not perfect. He said, well, suddenly you're doing well. That already lets me know Adam don't believe in therapy. He don't believe in strategy. He don't believe in actually like coming transparently with your problems and actually getting tools to actually work out the problems in your relationship, which is why we on episode 15 and he's still the same Adam.
Right. He hasn't changed, and it doesn't look like he's interested in changing.
100%.
At all.
So that's why he doesn't believe that one session with Paul, because for one, he don't respect Paul, right? One session with Paul or one session with Dr. Lisa can change anything, because at the end of the day, he's coming here just so he won't be fine.
Yeah.
Right? Cameron's not believing it. Michelle is not believing it. Devin and Caitlin didn't believe it in the first dinner, and Mecca and Belle don't believe it. Well, at least Mecca's the one being vocal about it, right? Now let me go back to Sean and Nikki, right? Even though I feel like everybody is nitpicking your relationship, if you are going to perform, it is your responsibility to put on a great performance. I don't believe y'all relationship.
Yeah.
If
I'm choosing to.
Yeah. Right? So
Sure. Have it your way.
So at the end of the day, if y'all are showing up at this dinner and they see that, hey, y'all are performing while they are also performing in their own prospective relationships, it is up to you, once y'all both agree that y'all going to perform, to put on one hell of a performance. I do not believe y'all. But as I told y'all episodes ago, Mecca is going to find an opportunity to embarrass Belle. In this moment right here, he did not have to say, or he did not have to volunteer the information that he was not into Belle. What did that do?
Nothing.
Literally, it did nothing.
Oh, you know what it did? It helped to aid in his manipulation and want for power in the relationship, so he doesn't feel as vulnerable. So that's what it did. It fed into what he wants out of the relationship, and it is power.
This is what I want from y'all. I don't want y'all in these comments no more writing me these long essays talking about his mama leaving him, his stepmama leaving him. I don't want these essays about his brothers leaving him, his sisters being taken away from him. I don't want these essays about the father that raised him and things like that. I've been telling y'all from episode 1, Mecca does not like Belle. I don't know. I've been chilling, been singing for 3 weeks about this. I don't know if we can tell y'all anymore that it's just that simple. And it goes back to what Blair was just talking about. Hey, do not try to rationalize people's actions and things like that. I understand that we're like, oh no, it's just he's scared to love, and he's and like, you know, his mother left him, and of course you will be scarred. Your trauma is not my drama. Sometimes it is as simple as, I think you're ugly. Especially when it comes to guys. I have female best friends, and sometimes they give me all this essays and they give me this long diatribe about, you know, he acts this way because of this, and he acts this way, his father did this and his mother did that, and that may be true, but also what else can be true is he don't respect you.
Yeah.
What else?
And he's not treating you well.
And what else can be true is you ugly. What else can be true is he don't think you're pretty enough for him. The guy that got nail polish on. Now, to give not even Belle out of jail, I was one of the ones, I have to be honest.
Okay.
I did not like that toy necklace you had on. Right? I did not like the hairdo that you had on. But from that moment on till now, Belle have shown us that she is a very beautiful and can dress.
Yes.
Right? At least her style. Right? So if I really like you, and let's say you didn't show up your best at the wedding, I'm not going to use that one moment to justify when I've been with you for the past 4 weeks.
And I know you're gorgeous. Like, why would I even say that?
Because he don't like you. It's that simple. It's really that simple. Let's keep going.
Devin and Caitlin say things are great.
Yes.
Caitlin says they need to bring romance into it. She did pull back basically because she wanted to feel safe emotionally first.
Okay.
They're all asking who would stay married to someone that they didn't hook up with first. And pretty much everyone around the table is saying no. Felipe is really the one driving the question.
Of course he is.
And Caitlin feels like it's childish and she wouldn't make that a deal breaker. But Devin does say sex is important. If your partner doesn't like or want to try certain things, then they do look elsewhere. Now Caitlin is offended.
Of course she is.
And she doesn't like hearing that because she's been cheated on in the past. Devin apologizes and says that I'm not saying that I would do that. I'm just saying that that is something that happens. And Dr. Paz thinks that he made a fair point. But he does say he would be open to saying yes on decision day, even if they don't get physical, because Felipe pressed it out of him.
Of course he would. Love on a tightrope. I always give this analogy, right? When someone puts you on a tightrope to get their approval, to get their praise, to get their to get them to like you, to basically get their love, they put you on a tightrope to where any mistake you make is the death of the relationship. So now he's not even talking about himself. He's not even talking about anything pertaining to the relationship, right? But yet she's like, oh my goodness, you said this, or now I'm about to give you the silent treatment. It's like, let's just cut to the chase. You don't like me. You like having someone to go to Taylor Swift with. You like basically a servant. But when it comes to seeing me as a person, you don't like me. So I have to be perfect, 100% perfect for us to even have a good night, because you could be offended by literally anything. Devin, he already knows he's going to say no, in my opinion. He just got to play face for show and tell, because these type of environments produces performances.
Well, Felipe says he got real about his feelings and focused on the fact that he wanted to be with Tori since he met her, and he is committed to Tori. Mecca yells out today.
Yeah.
Felipe was worried about things not working out and not wanting to tell her all of his positive emotions. And Adam says, you have everything going for you, Tori. You've been hearing this clown talking. Why would you want to still be here? Why are you still here with him?
Oh my gosh.
Now, Mecca and Adam are doing the most, and I think that they're piling on unnecessarily.
Of course.
Mecca with the today thing, I think he's over here trying to elicit some laughs and thinks he's being funny and a class clown, and I don't appreciate it. I think that even though I don't agree with how Felipe is moving about this and trying to reassure her in this odd way, which does not feel reassuring to me at all, I don't think it's anything that Mecca needs to try to get a moment out of. Like, it just feels very cheap and childish.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to Adam, you're sitting up here calling him a clown. Like, yeah, Sean activated you. Like, basically, like you, I feel like he would have been content being at this table, doing his normal vague, BS stuff. But now that he got activated, he has to actually show up and try to have conversations and try to get to the root of things and try to figure out things in the best interest of other people. When it's just kind of like, you don't care about nobody sitting here, including your wife.
100%.
Well, Tori thinks that there is a breaking point, but Felipe says that he wasn't speaking before like he had a wife.
Yeah.
Cameron asked if Felipe still feels indecisive, and he is saying he wants to be with Tori now, and he doesn't know what will happen in a week or a month from that. Michelle, who's Michelle? Michelle is, yes. I was like, I thought I wrote around the wrong name. Says it sounds like he is dating at first sight, and are you ready to be married to somebody like this? And Tori tells them hard no. Indecisiveness is not attractive. If today were decision day, he would say yes. And when we get to them after dinner, Felipe is saying that he would have liked Tori to defend him a bit and say that he changed, especially when what the people at the dinner are saying is not true. And Tori's response is just to look at the camera.
Stop right there for me, right? Yeah. These type of environments causes people to perform.
Correct.
Mecca been performing ever since Paul pointed it out in the first couple of episodes.
And I want to make it clear, I don't think it's about style. I think that you can dress however you want to. I think that when it's like, oh, we're going to go in and we're going to stun on them and we got to show them and we got to pop out, that is performative. Like, if you just wear what you wear and this is the style that you have, then that is fine. That's your thing. But if you're doing it in order to basically have some type of like power or to be the man or the person in the room, that's weird and performative.
100%. Adam said to Tori, you got everything going for you, Tori. Like, look at this clown. Look at how he's talking. How are you still with him?
Yeah.
And my eyes just cut directly at Marissa.
Yeah. Because she's sitting next to a clown, too. We got a whole circus at this table.
Right?
Yeah.
And she said there is a breaking point. Now, here's the problem that I have with Tori, right? You, in my opinion, the only reason why I have a problem with Tori in this scene right here is because I feel like she already made a decision that she's not transparent about. She told Felipe and she told Paul that she's basically still here and she's open to Felipe still basically proving himself. To me, her body language and even her non-responsiveness to like this whole scene right here tells me that's a lie.
She's over
right?
it. Mm-hmm.
All Felipe is doing right now is doing what he learned in the counseling session with Paul. Paul basically stressed the fact that, hey, marriages are 50-50 and you have to choose them today. What is your decision today? What is your decision in the moment? And Felipe is doing his basically homework and his classwork saying, I choose Tori today.
And that's why I'm saying we ain't fixed nothing at that session.
Right, exactly.
Because look at what he's saying to these people.
Right, he's saying,
and he sound crazy.
He said, I choose it today.
I don't know about it a week or on decision day.
And that's what I'm saying. In this environment, it's kind of hard to see who is being authentic because now the spotlight on you and that spotlight is hot.
Yeah.
And now Cameron's over here talking about it still feels like you're indecisive and like, what about tomorrow? What about a month from now? We didn't get to that with Paul. Paul told me to choose her today.
Yeah.
So I'm choosing her today. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's why it's like, I kind of felt like in this moment,
yeah,
right? He's outside with Tori. And Tori, if you're going to be in the process, be in the process. If you're not going to be in the process, then leave, right?
She just showed up to work today.
The whole idea that he said, hey, it would be nice for my wife to defend me, especially like defend the person that I am compared to like what they are accusing me of. All I did, Tori, was told you how I truly felt and what I battle with. And now you're telling me, right? And I'm just using you as a muse, Blair, right? Using y'all as a muse, talking about the ladies, right? Y'all want to know what I think. Y'all want to know when I think it. You want to know my raw thoughts. And I told you, and now you mute. Don't fall for that trap, fellas, right? Fix it up. Make it nice. Put it in a nice box. Do not tell her she's fat in that dress, right? Tell her, guess what? I think blue is your color. You get what I'm saying? Blue is your color.
And the blue is
dark blue.
The dark blue dress is 2 sizes bigger.
Yes. Yes, dark blue.
And you know that dress is 2 sizes bigger than the one she got on right now.
Yes. So I do feel like Tori left him out there to basically dry out in front of everybody. But Tori has every right to make the decision that she made.
Right.
I just want her to be honest about it. Now tell me what Cameron happened. What did Cameron do in this dinner?
He said the table opposite of him, none of y'all should be together. Across the table, sitting across from Cameron, is Devin and Caitlin, Sean and Nikki, Tori and Felipe. He ain't lying, but who are you to say that, Cameron?
Talk to me, Blair.
Like, you sitting up on your soapbox like you have all this figured out. Michelle is going to drag you along to this marriage because she about to have this baby.
Pretty much.
So Michelle came on here because she about to get what she came on here for. And whether or not you sad, happy, depressed, whatever the case may be, can't stand her optimism, love her optimism. She about to get what she came here for.
Yes.
And Cameron, you are lucky to be in this relationship. Now everybody else, they just trying to figure it out and work it out. Michelle has a destination to get to and you along for the ride. Okay.
A sad boy. There's nothing you could tell me. When she told you initially what she wanted from the experts, I want somebody that makes at least $150,000. And then once y'all got home, you went home and curled up on the couch because you knew it wasn't you.
Protector, not provider.
So whole time, do not tell me who you think should not be married. Because when it comes down to your relationship right here, your kryptonite is her happiness. Like, and granted, you may really be going through some things to where you may need to, see if you're depressed or not. But at the end of the day, you wasn't even confident enough to be like, you know what? I don't make $150,000, but I'm doing my dream job. I love basketball. I love helping out the kids. You just went home and cried and basically said, like, it is emasculating. I do want to make the money and stuff like that. And then on a random day, on like a Tuesday, you was curled up on the couch sad again.
Yeah. So let's just not sit on any high horses.
And
We all got something with us.
And
We
that's
all
all
got
I'm saying.
something. Yeah.
And to me, how are you going to say that about the people across the table? And Adam is literally right next to you. And all you heard throughout their relationship is that Marissa just going along to get along.
Yeah.
Granted, I do not want anybody to tell me who have a problem with commitment, because that is what Cameron said about basically like he runs for the hills. You get what I'm saying? About whenever things get tough for him, do not point your finger at me talking about you shouldn't get married, you shouldn't get married, you shouldn't get married. No. Cameron, you're out of line 100%. 100%.
And that's all we got.
I need you to subscribe, like, share, comment, and hype the video. We see y'all.
Bye.